So my Walther Q5 match has pretty much become the standard of what accuracy can be out of a striker fired polymer gun. This thing is amazing. It's a laser pointer. I joke that if you miss, it's because you were deliberately trying to miss. It's almost like it attaches some type of guidance system to the bullet as you fire. Just incredibly accurate. Love this thing. What I have in here takes this a step further, oriented at those who are in competition. We've got the Walther Q5 match steel frame coming up next on GBGuns. Pardon the scratches and imperfections on the case here. I was so excited to get this thing, I had to get out and shoot it. What all comes in the case, of course, I always look for, with my Walthers, is the 25 meter grouping. How about that? 25 meters, not yards, meters. And we've got a tear here and one a little bit left, but definitely acceptable. This is marked by the person who did the shooting and with the serial number of the firearm. Love that about Walther. Take a look at our manual. You can see it's a little bit different with the steel frame, and it's got a US PSA steel target on there. Color photos. Nice and clear. Wow, look, they even got shine off the feed ramp in that one. That's pretty good. Nice manual. Get that out of the way, and we have in the case, and I've already had this out and shot it. I've already mounted an RMR to it. Haven't zeroed that yet. I mounted it after my first shooting session. The gun comes with an adjustable rear sight, target rear sight, and 3 plates for mounting different types of optics on it. You also get all the necessary hardware and tools in this little case here. 3 magazines, a speed loader, and your lock. You might notice that the magazines all have a +2 base plate on them, which takes it to 17. Made in Italy. I suspect these are Metgar. Let's get that out of the way and take a look at the gun. So I should start by saying that this is a heavy beast. Steel frame, it's in all steel gun. Still have that magazine ejection, kicking those mags out, which I love. Obviously it's clear. And we'll take a look around the gun. I might just zoom in. The machining on this thing is impeccable and very, very impressive. Starting at the front, we have a little side to side. We have no vertical movement. Fiber optic front sight. And you can see we've got plenty of cutout here to reduce the cyclic mass of the slide and also help compensate for the extra weight when you put something like an RMR on there. We've got more rail space than the polymer. The dust cover extends all the way out. That puts non-reciprocating weight down low, which is great to help keep the nose of the gun down and compensate against flip. Nice cuts there. The serrations on the front of the trigger guard. Love how they taper in. And you can see there's so many contours to this frame design. Our checkering once again tapers in through there, and then we get the crosshatch for a nice stippling on the front that goes to smooth, at least in the vertical sense, which is how a gun might rock in your hand. Plenty of knuckle room. You can see the trigger guard has a little bit of a raise there and goes nice and wide. Our mag release button is easy to reach and nice and large to mash, yet shielded by the polymer grips that are on here. You have a mag well, big funnel. I mean, a double stack mag that's double stack single feed like this is already effectively an inverse funnel. And you throw this on here and I mean, you'd have to be completely out of your mind to miss that. That is super smooth. Coming on the backside, give you a close-up of that texture on the grip. And you see the contouring here. This contour right here I really appreciate, as my thumb knuckle sometimes gets irritated by some guns. That was an issue I had with both Glocks and XDMs early on in shooting. Got a nice tail, which also gives your hand a place to stop when you're shoving into the holster, so you're not overshooting your hand, that is. Look at our slide to frame fit in the back. Very tight. Now these slides are not interchangeable with the standard Q5 match. You can't put this slide on that frame or vice versa. Coming around the right side of the gun, we see our magazine release is reversible, and we do have the ambidextrous slide stop or release. I'd argue this is more release than stop because it's so long. In fact, as much as I love Walthers, something that often happens to me is my thumb ends up riding on that and I don't get slide lock on an empty magazine. Gorgeous, gorgeous gun. I like that the tagging that had to be put on there, the Walther Arms, Fort Smith, Arkansas, it's kind of hidden underneath, as is the Karl Walther Ulm, Germany on that side. And then you can see right here we've got our CIP European proofing. That's sort of like the SAMI, if you will, of Europe, along with the build code. Let's take a look inside this gun. 1Z trigger, of course. It's our Q5 match trigger. Comes up to a wall, breaks. And then what everyone loves Walther for, that 1/10 of an inch reset. Listen to that spring, how crisp that is. I don't know if you can hear it echo on your end. Alright, let's take this apart and look inside. One other note before we go inside. Because of the magwell flare on here, on the Pro model, this is the Pro model, they have a standard model coming out later this year that doesn't have that. You need this +2 base plate for the magazine to work. The standard PPQ mags are not quite fit. They're not, see, not quite going deep enough because of their floor plate. You can, however, use these +2 mags in your regular PPQ or Q5 match just fine. Everything fits. Alright, now let's get inside this guy. Takedown is a little different than the other Walthers. Notice it's got this tab here. We're going to lock the slide back and rotate that up. Let the slide go forward, squeeze the trigger, and slide comes off the frame. It's getting, pardon the grit. As you can see, I've shot this thing. I was excited and got out to the range as soon as I could. All steel. It's interesting. Looks like some parts made separately and pushed in, obviously, because the CNC work that was already done on this frame would be incredibly complicated to try to do some of the smaller pieces afterwards. Like we have this little girdle here. To look inside our slide, there's our flat recoil spring stainless steel guide rod, adds more weight up front, and our barrel with a polished feed ramp, a little dirty from shooting. Look inside there, beautiful, beautiful machining. There are some things that, well, gotta say the Germans just do better. At least they still have the industry for it. We've kind of lost some manufacturing here in the States. Hopefully we'll get some of that back eventually. But gorgeous gun, feels very front heavy in the hand, which, like I said, is going to help mitigate against recoil and reduce split times for those of you competitors looking to do your doubles as quickly as possible. For reassembly, we bring it back on and bring the lever down. Now everything's back together and functioning. I like how these eyelets are cut into the serrations. And you can grab here at this step like I just was, or any of the serrations. Really, it makes the whole slide into a big friction point for grabbing and racking. Beautiful gun. We'll get this out and of course do our what's for dinner. Obviously this gun was intended for competition use. It is at 42 ounces pretty darn heavy as far as when it comes to something that you might carry for daily carry. But man, if you did, this would be one heck of a gun. Really looking forward to seeing how this performs. We'll get some of our nozzler match in there. We already know it's got full chamber support because we've seen that on the other Q5. Let me know what your questions are, and if you want to see anything special with this. I'm thinking maybe some slow-mo doubles with this gun versus doubles with the polymer gun to see what the differences are. Thanks for watching.